As we said in a previous video, the female nature is a desire to experience emotional feelings of happiness and joy. And now we are saying that this nature was contained inside of the man before the Creator pulled it out with the rib to form her into a woman person. The implication to this statement that the man was the container of the female nature before she was formed into a woman is more than we can cover in one video. But suffice it to say that the female nature was not made visible before she was pulled out of the man. That the female person that we see was not made out of what was visible, meaning that the Creator pulled out the invisible weakness of man out of his very emotional soul and made she into a visible human body to stand before his eyes always. And still, not all of the invisible aspects of the female nature are visible to the naked eye. Those are only made visible when the woman begins to act and behave externally based on that female nature. She is more emotionally sensitive and expressive because she is the weakness of the man's emotional soul made flesh. And that's why the man tends to get aggressively protective of her whenever she is sad and cries, because the man tends to act to protect his weakness from harm. And of course, the woman knows that. So too does the serpent in the garden. He realized that if he could get the woman to get emotional and express emotion toward the man for help, whether positive or negative, but in this case, positive emotion, then he could get the man to listen to her and act in a way to give in to his weakness, to protect his weakness, to soothe his weakness, to remove pain and discomfort from his weakness. For no man hates his own flesh, but protects it and nourishes it. In the weakest part of a man's flesh, he protects even with greater care and attention. And here is the emotional weakness of his emotional soul made flesh into a beautiful, sexy female form. Whoever touches her touches the apple of his eye. For the man's strength is made perfect, or shown the greatest strength, the greatest aggressive tendencies when fighting for and protecting his emotional weakness. For jealousy makes a man furious, and he will not spare when he takes revenge. He will accept no compensation. He will refuse though you multiply gifts. To use a Chinese philosophical idea, we would say that the Creator God separated the yin, the female nature, from the yin, the male nature, to visibly stand before each other's eyes in a physical human form. And the Creator made a way for them to come back and experience each other in sexual union through marriage. So that means both the male and female natures are emotional. For as we said, the female nature was contained inside the man's emotional soul before she was formed into a woman body. The difference between the male and female is a difference in energy, frequency, and vibration of the soul. The male nature is the bass frequency, and the female nature is the harmonics frequency. The man and the woman each has three elements: the genetic, the emotional, and the spiritual. The two shall become one flesh, but also one in emotion and spirit. That's why, while the man is trying to become one flesh through sex, the woman seeks to become one in emotion through words and relationship. And this leads us to speaking about this YouTube channel. Why it's there and what we intend to do with it. But we will explain that in the next video. So please stay tuned. Thanks for watching.